Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I see my time has expired. I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Doyle. Next, we have Mr. Guthrie coming to us from Kentucky. Are you muted? Do you want to unmute?
I thought I did that. I apologize. Hi, Brett Guthrie. I apologize. Hi, Dr. Hahn, I'm interested in the COVID-19 counterfeit testing, and I have a bill that would bring, it's called the Safeguarding Therapeutics Act, that would ensure FDA has the authority to destroy the counterfeit tests and devices. And I'll follow up with a question with this. What I'm interested in, what the people that I talk to every day are interested in is what's going on in the future. How are we going to protect ourselves moving forward? We need to lessons learned from the past. We need to look forward. And Dr. Hahn kind of answered on, Admiral Gerard answered on the PPE kind of moving forward. But if I could just go with Dr. Redenfield, Dr. Fauci, and then Dr. Hahn, if you'll talk about pool testing and how that might be effective. Well, the people that I talk to want to know what's it going to look like in March. What's it going to look like in August? Are kids going to be getting back in school? Are nursing homes going to be safe? That's what people are looking for. So Dr. Redenfield, I know we're going to have flu, we're going to have COVID. What's the testing going to be like? Dr. Fauci, what do we need to be looking for in Dr. Hahn pool testing? And I'll just open it up for you three to talk about what's it going to look like in August, and are kids going to be able to go back to school? And I'll start with Dr. Redenfield.
Thank you, Congressman. I think first and foremost, it's really important that we continue to take this time to continue to accelerate our capacity to diagnose obviously readily available timely test results, build that capacity for isolation, contact tracing, and self-quarantine. That's fundamental. We're working hard to do that. As I mentioned, in January, we had about 6,000 contact tracers in this country. At the beginning of June, it was up to around 28,000. It needs to continue to increase, in my view, towards 100,000, and we get that operationally functional. That's going to be critical for what we're doing. Secondly, we do have to reinforce in the American public the importance of the social distancing interventions that we've discussed, particularly face covering, 6 feet distancing, and hand washing. I anticipate that the states will begin to open up higher education and K through 12. It's going to be on a jurisdiction to jurisdiction decision. CDC will be issuing additional guidance on this topic in the days ahead as we continue to try to work and give guidance how to open up these, particularly the school systems, how to open them up safely. I will end with nursing homes. I think we've made an enormous progress in the long-term care facilities, enhancing infection control. Admiral Gerard may want to comment about the commitment that FEMA made to provide all nursing homes protective equipment for a period of time. And we're continuing, I think, to have aggressive surveillance in the nursing homes across this country, where we've recommended that all residents get tested so that we can start with a clean baseline of understanding where the epidemic is. I will just end with the fact that although they only make up 0.6% of our population, nursing home residents have made up more than 35% of our mortality.
Let me very briefly.
Thank you, Dr. Redenfield. Yeah. Dr. Fauci?
Yeah, let me briefly address the question you asked about schools, because we get asked that all the time. I think the important thing to point out is that, as you well know, we live in a very big country that is certainly not a unidimensional country. It's very, very different, whether you're in a New York metropolitan area or Casper, Wyoming. So when you're asking about schools, you have to say, where are you talking about? Because we have different regions, different states, different cities, towns, and counties. So some counties may have such a low level of infection that schools can open in a way that's exactly like normal. Others may be in a situation where it isn't really bad, where you want to close the school, but you might want to make some modifications, alterations of scheduling, things like morning, afternoon, one day or another day. So it's up to the local officials to evaluate where you are in the particular region, what the recommendations that we really very carefully put out about the guidance of opening schools. So you don't want to make one size fits all for the United States. You want to tailor it to the degree of viral dynamics in the particular location that you're talking about.
So looking forward, we're really only going to know when we get closer to that point, so we can make those decisions. That's unfortunate, but obviously the reality. I'm about out of time, Dr. Hahn. I'll submit a question for the record for pool sampling. Thank you very much, and I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Guthrie. It sounded like there was a monster that was going to envelop you at some point there. Next, we have Ms. Schakowsky from Illinois.